Have you ever looked into meditation, perhaps for improving your memory or reducing your stress, or both, and then come across the commandment to have no thoughts in your mind? This can be frustrating, it can be demotivating, and of course for many people, including me, almost, if not totally, impossible. Well, here's the truth. You do not have to clear your mind, and you do not have to have an empty mind, and in many cases that will be totally unproductive for most people, if not impossible, and you don't even need to do that in order to experience the benefits of memory. This came up recently in a question comment on the channel here, and so I wanted to let you know that you have options, and I'm going to give you some of those, and that's coming right up. Hey there, this is Anthony Metivier from MagneticMemoryMethod.com. This is the website devoted to giving you and your memory every possible advantage so you can just zero in, laser in on information that you want to get into your long-term memory fast and keep it there with absolute certainty that this is going to work for you. And all you have to do is learn the techniques and show up. So come and visit me at MagneticMemoryMethod.com. And if you want to learn meditation, there's a lot of stuff on my website about meditation for memory improvement. And of course, there's just meditation for stress reduction and feeling more confident, more creative, more energetic, and just being able to put up with some of the things that life throws at you that annoy you and break your concentration and focus. So here's the deal with the no mind thing. This is partly coming from, in the traditions, the idea that we are knocked off balance by an addiction to thinking, and not only an addiction to thinking, but impulsive thinking, thoughts we don't want breaking in on our concentration. Now, the likelihood that anybody is ever going to eliminate thoughts completely is probably pretty small, because even if you were to enter a state of no mind, you would have a perception of being in that state, or else you wouldn't be there at all, right? How could you be in a state that was outside of perception? It's rather about the quality of perception and the levels of focus and the things that you're doing with thoughts. Now, a lot of people will argue and say, oh no, but it's possible, and after years and years of meditation, this, that, and the other thing, and that's fine. You can all do that down in the comments below if you so wish. I'm more interested in what can you do to shine up that mind, to polish it up so it's focused, and to do it quickly and get the results from meditation for not only stress reduction, but also improved focus, concentration, memory, and just creativity and confidence and going out and conquering what it is that you want to conquer in life, which in many cases is just being able to remember things better and not forgetting so much, not forgetting so quickly, not just having a piece of information come in the mind and then it's gone, right? You want to be able to have a piece of information come in the mind and it sticks magnetically. So here's the thing. I had a great moment of movement too, of clarity when I heard Alan Watts talk about how if you want no mind, well, there are lots of rocks around in the world, they're just sitting there, and they do that perfectly well, so maybe next life you can come back as a rock and so forth. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but it was something along those lines, and it was a joke, but it's all too serious, because so many people are being taught to sit and clear their mind, but there are already all kinds of things in the world, like that bridge back there. It's just sitting there, and it has no mind. So why do you have to have no mind? It's just nonsense. You have a mind that is yours, it's perfect, it's wonderful, it just needs a bit of training perhaps, and it has the thoughts that it's going to have, and you have very interesting ways of intervening on the kinds of thoughts it has and the frequency of thoughts that it has. But to get rid of thoughts altogether, why would this even be desirable? There's something strange in the promise of doing that, and Alan Watts really points it out in great ways. So I would highly recommend checking that out. But it encouraged me to get over that nonsense and actually do what he said, which is to sit just to sit. The sitting will teach you everything else that you need to know. Now, I don't know that it will teach you everything else that you need to know, because I've learned a lot more on the way in my own meditation journey, which has been really good, and the reason why it's been so good is because I've sat down and practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced and gotten the benefits of that practice, the benefits of which give you clarity, they give you focus, they give you concentration, they give you creativity and better memory. We have all the research for that, or not all the research, but much of the greatest research on MagneticMemoryMethod.com down in the links below. So I won't bog this down with the science, but you can go and look at that yourself and get some more step-by-step training on that video. The point being is sit just to sit, and then watch your mind. See what your mind is doing. It's going to do everything that it possibly can to get you to stop sitting, just to sit, because that's very strange for you to ask it to do. But if you just observe that, you'll begin to understand that that's what's happening, and you'll learn a lot about the human mind. It's very powerful. Now, one of the things that I learned many years later, and I wish I'd learned it sooner, is that actually there's good research, good evidence that things like stretching, a little bit of yoga and so forth, the things that Gary Weber talks about in Happiness Beyond Thought, are a form of meditation that can increase the quality of your sitting just to sit meditations. So I got into that, and that really, really helped. And part of it is just that it relaxes your body in ways that progressive muscle relaxation don't necessarily do, which is another thing you can do. Sometimes it's called body scanning in the meditation world. You just tighten up all the muscles, major muscles and minor muscles through your body to get more relaxed so that you're more able to notice your mind. So that's another thing that you can do, and that's involves thinking, right? Oh, I'm gonna squeeze the muscles in my feet, and then I'm gonna release. So you're using a quality of thought, a focused thought, in order to better engage with the body and be involved in your own body, your own beingness in the world. So it's very, very powerful to use thought in order to meditate. And the thoughts you have matter. Not no thoughts, not no mind, but kinds of mind. Now, the next thing that was really powerful, this is also something on a recent Gary Weber video that I'll put down below. Big Gary Weber fan, not gonna hide that. And that is called Kirtan Kriya. And it works very simply. You should go learn it from him as well. But you just say, Satanama, Satanama. And you do that for about 2 minutes, and then you whisper it for 2 minutes. Satanama, Satanama. Then you do it silently in your head for 2 minutes. And this is just wild. It is literally like polishing your mind. For me, I have the reserve, the build-up of many years of meditation, so the effects of this were very, very fast. For you, it might be a little bit different. We know from the science that you got to show up to meditation at least 4 times a week. Should be around 15 minutes. It's up to you. You know, every person has their own individual thing, and by up to you, I mean it's up to you to find out for yourself. Be on the adventure. You're gonna love it. But the thing too is you can play little games with this, right? So you can go Satanama, but then you can have the other hand go in reverse order. So Satanama, right? And that is kind of cool. And you're just involving your body and your mind in things at the same time. And it really, really helps. You can also do skipping. So you can go Sa, Na, Ta, Ma. And this is you just getting your mind off your impulsive thoughts, your thought addiction about the future, about the past, alternate versions of the future, present, and so forth. And you're really, really narrowing in on something that uses sound, which is internal to yourself, but then becomes external to yourself through your ears, and then internal again. You're creating this loop. You're using all the muscles in your mouth, using all the muscles in your hands, and you're creating this zone of focus. I came across the recommendation, it's not in the Gary Weber video, of doing it for 12 minutes. So you start by singing it or chanting it, then you whisper it, then you do it silently in your mind, and then you reverse that for 2 minutes each time, then you get 12 minutes. Do this about 3 times a day if you can find the time for it. Do it 1 time a day. Just make sure you're doing it at least 4 times a week, if not a bit more, and you're absolutely gonna love it. It just does amazing things for your focus, and you can look up on the Gary Weber video all the science that he presents. It's incredible. You can look all that up on the Gary Weber video. He has a link to his website, and I highly recommend reading it. I highly recommend reading Happiness Beyond Thought, because it has more little games like this that you can play inside your mind, and it's all stripped of any kind of dogma or woo-woo or religious affiliation or anything like that. So you can just be free in a secular way to explore what might be possible for you. And it's been really incredible for me over the many, many years, and it just seems to get better and better and better, which is really what happens when you take up any skill. The more you practice it, the better you get. Now, in terms of how this has a direct benefit for memory, it's quite obvious and self-evident. You'll feel it for yourself, which is simply that the #1 rule of memory is to pay attention to information, right? And then once you pay attention to information, associate it either with the memory palace, magnetic imagery, of course, in the memory palace, or just magnetic imagery as such, using linking or any of the many techniques that are there for us to use. And you just move from there at a much higher pace, a much more consistent pace, when you're actually paying attention to the world in the first place, because you're present. And this is what meditation will do for you. Sound like a big crazy promise? Try it for yourself. Prove all of the evidence out there wrong. If it doesn't work for you, then here's the trick. Go back and try again. One of the great things that Gary Weber talks about on his blog is that there are differences between people. So there are multiple forms of meditation. Not everything is going to appeal to the same people the same way. Not everything is going to even work for the same people the same way, but you can find a way into it and you will get these benefits. The other thing that I would say is that not everything is going to work for the same people or appeal to the same people the same way, the same time, all the time, at that time. So if something really appeals to you but doesn't give you an effect, you really do give it the good old college try and it's not working, maybe come back to it later. I can't tell you the many times in life where I've had a skill that just didn't land on a Monday, went back to it another Monday or Tuesday later in the week or later in the month or later in the year, and then bang presto, you got it. There's just so many amazing stories like that, and I'll link down to one with Kevin Richardson, who talked about it on the Magnetic Memory Method podcast, about how he didn't really gel with memory techniques and memory palaces in particular the first time around. Then he comes back to it a year later, goes through the instructions again, and then bang presto, he's memorizing 30 kanji a day like nothing else. Boom, 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 boom. Massively accelerating his progress. So it's not as if we always come to the best possible techniques for ourselves at the right time. Sometimes timing is a big issue. So persist. If you want mental clarity, if you want focus, you want concentration, you want clarity, you want better memory, then don't give up. This journey is there for you to come at again and again and again until you get it. And I can tell you from being on the journey and having gotten many things that the getting never ends. The getting never ends. You know, sometimes you just climb a mountain, and the thing that you understand when you get to the top of the mountain is, hey, there's another mountain to climb. You're gonna find that when you climb the next mountain as well. There are more mountains to climb, and they just keep coming, and that is a beautiful thing. So I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you. I hope you'll give some of these meditations a try. Follow up with this information down below. Follow up with Gary Weber's site and so forth. Get subscribed to his channel. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe to mine. If you're not already subscribed, if you like this stuff, hit the thumbs up. Leave a comment below. Let me know where you are in the world, what you're doing, what you're thinking, your experiences with meditation, your struggles with memory, if you have any, or your triumphs with memory, if you have any. And if you don't have any, what will it take to get you some? Well, I think meditation is going to help, so I hope you give it a try. This is, again, Anthony Metivier from MagneticMemoryMethod.com. Till we have a chance to speak again, keep yourself magnetic.